This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, Santosh, and yeah, tomorrow you can present your data collection. Yeah, that's fine. And yeah, when is we can see custom SQL option in the Tableau? As we know already, custom SQL option is not available for all the time. It would be available for some particular time only. That means what is that situation when that option will be enabled? Yeah, if you mention answer in the chat box, also fine, no issue. Because if you don't recollect or if you don't practice, there is no use of simply I am continuing the topics. No. Okay. Let me tell you again today. Um, Today I am trying to connect with the Microsoft Excel. Okay. I am choosing any of the an Excel document. See here, shall we able to see custom SQL option? No, right? Why? We are connected to the text files. That means files data only. Whenever we try to connect it to the files data, whether it is a PDF file or Notepad or any other file formatted data, we don't get the new custom SQL option because files are not supporting for the writing SQL queries. Okay. Now I try to connect it to the data source. See here, obviously we are getting the new custom SQL option. Why it comes now? Now we connected to the database. That is the reason that database is having the tables. It is supposed to write the SQL queries. For that reason, we are getting the option new custom SQL. This is the main difference. When custom SQL option is enabled, when custom SQL option is disabled. Okay, we must know the difference. Okay, for using this option, we can do many things in the Tableau. That is the main difference. And please remember, and tomorrow also I will ask the same question. Okay, and today what I am going to explain the data blending and joining. This is the again very important interview question in the Tableau. What is the difference between the data blending and the joining? The blending is we are integrating data from the multiple data sources. That means more than one data source. We are blending, that means we are integrating data from the more than one data source. Here we have the two sources are there. See, book one is the one data source that is from the Excel, and SQL Server is the other data source. Here I have joining the two data sources. Whenever we pull the multiple data sources, obviously Tableau will provide the different color format. First, blue color is a main primary data source it is considered. Tableau is considering primary data source with the blue color and secondary data source is defining with the orange color. If I pull any other data source, that will comes into the different color like green or yellow, whatever. So like that in the Tableau, we have the facility. to integrating multiple data sources. That means we are joining multiple data sources. Uh, we are joining tables from the multiple data sources is called the blending. If you have a notebook, please write it down. When we join tables from multiple data sources is called the blending. Okay. And joining is we join the multiple tables within the same data source. That is called joining. That means in the single data source, we join the tables is called the joining. In the multiple data sources, we are joining the tables, that is called the blending. That is the main difference between the joining and blending. This is the one really important question. Be prepared for this topic clearly. And now I am going to remove two data sources. Hmm. Okay. And one more thing I want to tell you, whenever we pull the data source, right? Here we have the sheets or tables now. Each related table, here only we can able to view the data. Whatever that sheet is having data, if we click on the symbol, it will display the whole data here. And here also we have the limit the rows in the above. Up to how many rows we want to see, here we can mention the row number. Based on that, here we can able to view the data. This is from the sheet 1. I will show you in the database also. Hmm, it is not having the remove option. Okay. And now I am selecting the my data source, Microsoft SQL Server, and entering the credentials, username and password. Already whatever we have entered earlier, default it is taking. Click on sign in, and now my data source added to the connections. And here whatever data source I entered in the connection details, it takes the default here. See, here we have the number of tables in the particular database. I told you in the each table we have the columns fields symbol is there. This is the fields symbol. If we click on this one, we can able to view the data in that particular table, business unit table. Okay, here in this table we have two rows and 19 fields. So like that we can see data for each and every table also. Okay, this is the one feasibility to view the data. Okay, and see, after connecting to the data source, so see here I can able to view the new custom SQL, and new union is available for all the connections, and a new table extension. Um, let's see what is this one, new table extension here. Okay, this is also supporting like a other data source tables we have to add here to the existing data source. And here we can able to see the script also, enter custom script. That means a Python script like that we can use for here in this window. Okay, but generally we don't use this option, new table extension, and directly we are using the data sources only. Okay, this is a new option in the latest versions. Earlier, this is not available. Please remember also difference between the versions is the one of the interview question. Someone may ask and someone may not ask. Okay, but we have to know the versions differentiation. This is the latest version. We are using the 2022.4. For this version, we can able to be the new table extension. This is the new feature. Okay, and for this database, these are the tables, and below one is the stored procedures. So that database is holding these are the procedures. Through the procedures only, DB team is loading the data to the our data tables. As an analyst, we are using the only tables only to generate the reports. Okay, current role. And now I am trying to join the other data source also, like using the add option. And I have the only Excel data is there. I am choosing the Excel, and here I have the worksheets, selecting and clicking open. And now my data source adding here to the other connection. That means this is a book one is the one data source, and Microsoft SQL Server is the other data source. So that means here I am trying to do the blending in the Tableau. This is the way of the blending option. Now I have the sheet 1 data is there, and from this data source I have the number of tables also there. So what I have to do, I have to join the tables from these two data sources. So if I try to join tables from more than one data source, that is called as the data blending. Okay, already each sheet 1 joined to the data source. I am expecting primary data source is the first. Okay, I told you Tableau considers the primary data source as the blue color, and secondary data source considering as the orange color, and third data source considering as the different colors. But these are the primary colors for the data blending. Okay, we can call it as the blue one is the primary data source and orange is the secondary data source. And here I am pulling the this date table is the common. Common means what we call conformal dimension. Here date table is the conformal dimension, and we have the I think here below we are getting the data set right for regarding that dim date table, and here we have the number of fields from the dim data table. Okay, and number of rows also. And default it is accepting the 100 rows. If I enter 1000, if data is there up to 1000, it will display. Okay, and the next I want to join other table from the same data source. Dimension, right? Next one is retailer, I take it. And one more thing I want to tell you, uh, Tableau automatically takes the joins between the joins between the tables. That is called as the relation actually. We have the join and relation also, difference is there. Okay, relation is we are just mentioning the condition between those two tables. So that is nothing but the relation. Join is it based on the condition, and we are using the symbols also, like what is that? This is the inner join symbol. This circles with two circles merging, right? This is the inner join, and this symbol is the left outer join. This symbol is the right outer join. This symbol is the full outer join. But coming to the relation, it is not coming. The symbols are not showing directly. It shows the fields conditions only. I really surprising for this latest version, trial version, we are not able to view the relation window, but we are getting the what is this joins symbols. and in the latest versions we are using the relations only, not joins. In the previous versions we used joins only. Okay, there is just a syntactical symbolized containers only available in the joins, but these symbols not available in the relation. Okay, in the relation and join, in the both the cases we are using the conditions to join the tables. This is the two ways we are joining the table. Okay, and default it is taking the inner join. What is that condition? Created by and created by. Uh, but I am expecting the date field, date ID, and here also I want to date ID. Retailer ID, distribution ID, created it. Okay, created it. Yeah, created it also showing the date field only. So this date ID and this created it should be the match. Then only here we will get the inner join option or left outer. But here I am getting there. That means there is no proper relation between these two tables. So we have to make the relation, or else we won't get data. Okay, and I think here we don't have the dim date ID. So we need to change the field, and we have option, we have to join to the fact table. First we take the fact table. Sales invoice details is the fact table here. Okay, so automatically it is joining. Let's see what is the conditions it is accepting. Date ID, and here submitted date ID, received date ID, PO date ID, sales invoice date ID. Actually, all these date fields are related to the some other business identification. So I don't want these conditions. I want to remove. Okay. Now date ID is there. Only single column, using the single column condition only. I am joining. I am using the join. Okay. Now I go to the retailer table. No, no, no. It is accepting Indian default. Mm, it's not Indian. Sales invoice table. Okay. And next I take the retailer table, join to the fact table. Okay, see now, whenever I drag the dimension table retailer to the this one, automatically that Tableau will understand we have the only one fact table, and the remaining all are the dimension tables like that. It seems to be taking as a star schema. Okay, I think we already understood about the what is the star schema. And the retailer, it is taking default join is the retailer ID and retailer ID. Already in the sales invoice table, we have the retailer ID field is there. Okay, retailer ID. Yeah, here in the sales invoice table, we have the retailer ID. So we face the difficulty, then we have the search box. We can use it this one. See here also we have the retailer ID from the sales invoice table, and the retailer table also we have the retailer ID. So now this condition is matching. That is the reason it is showing the proper join. Okay, if it is improper, we can able to view the warning symbol. Okay, sometimes we can use the different join also. Instead of using the inner join, we can use the left outer join also. That means all these joins concept will cover in the database basics actually. This inner join, left join, right outer join, and full outer join will give different naming conventions and pull the data according to the join definition. Okay, inner join is the, please note it down or else listen carefully. Inner join is the, uh, it will fetch the data from the two tables and wherever it is commonly. The common data, it will fetch data. That is inner join giving defining the data. Okay, see here, whenever this circle is related to the dim date table and this right circle is related to the fact sales fact table, and here we can able to see there is some common spaces there with the blue color. So in that common space is having the common data between the dimension table and fact table. This is the inner join. So sometimes users is expecting only I want a common data only. Uh, um, in that case, we have to use the inner join. Or else in some cases, they are concentrating on the only fact details. They have the least bothered about the dimension date table. So that time what we have to do, we have to select the left outer join. Okay, left outer, sorry, here right side is the table is there, so we have to choose the right outer join. So in this case, what is happening? Right outer join from the all the records fetch from the sales fact table and some of the common records from the dimension date table. Okay, because here right side we join the fact table. This is the difference between the right join and inner join. And if I select, if a user wants to select a date details only and some of the details from sales fact table only, then that case we have to choose the left outer join. So we will get all the records from the dimension date table and some of the matching columns from the fact table. And this is the difference between the right and the left and inner join. Full outer join is the, according to the symbol representation we can easily understand, we will get the full records, full data from the dimension table and fact table. If you mention this one, all the records we will get into the data set, means in into our report. Okay, so based on the joins, we have, based on the user requirement, we have to choose the join. That is also in our role only, we have to analyze what type of data user is expecting. So based on the data analysis, we have to choose the join type here. Okay, and here I can choose only inner join. I want just a common dates because whatever sales related data there, whenever that sale created and sale delivered, sale shipped, everything is connected to the dimension table only. So I want just a common data only. That is the reason I am choosing the inner join. And here one more thing I want to highlight. Based on the join, we have the performance issue also depending. If I choose the inner join, my report data will get easily, very quickly I will get the data. That cost to the improving the performance because it is not fetching all the data from the all the tables or two tables. Okay, and here I am getting only selected common data only I am fetching. That is the reason my report will fetch the data very quickly. That means we have the less records compared to whole tables data. Okay. Next, if I go to the left outer join also, it is excluding the right side data and it will fetch the only left side only. That is also cost to the performance technique. So based on the joins also, we can improve the performance of the our reports, our dashboards. Okay, if you select the full outer join, obviously it will fetch the all the data from the tables, so it is automatically decrease the performance. That means our dashboard is trying to fetch all the data from the database, so it is slowly processing, and it takes time to open the report also. Okay, and always 90% we don't use the full outer join. Very rare case only we use the full outer join. And these three joins only we regularly using at the real-time projects. Okay, and next retailer details also like this. And I have the common details. That is the reason I have selected the inner join. But a user wants left out means a sales invoice table. I want only limited retailers only, not all the retailers, because sales and retails is and orders. All these are coordinating each other. Whenever in the sales warehouse we get the retailers, distributors, and according to that we are storing the items based on the dates, date values, means on that particular day, or on that particular week or month, year basis. So that is the reason for every product creation we need time related data also. We must store the data in the warehouse, sales warehouse. Okay, in the sales warehouse we have the number of products, and for that warehouse they have the number of retailers also. But user is expecting only particular retailers, so whoever is um, distributing the our products to the outlets. Okay, only for that particular retailers. All the retailers not doing the sales business. Okay, there are somebody may chances are there somebody keeping quiet, and somebody involving into the helping other retailers indirectly. So they are not doing the direct sales business, means directly they are not distributing to the outlets. They are just naam ke vaste they are doing the some activities. So I don't want all those retailers, sleeping retailers. I want only active retailers. So for that reason I am selecting the left outer join. So whoever is doing sales business with the retailers details, so that information only I want it. That is the reason I am choosing the left outer join. But in some cases we are focusing on the retailers details only. in, in that case we need full retailer details, and out of that whoever retailer is doing the sales business, that comes under into the right outer join. So like this, based on the business user requirement, we have to choose the join between the tables. Okay, based on the data, before joining the tables we need to analyze the data. What type of data is there? So like that we need to analyze the data, then only we can able to choose the better option for the joining. Okay, this is the way of the blending. Okay, wait, here as of now I have completed only joins only. I didn't pull the next secondary data source data. I have to pull it, then only our data blending will complete. Okay, now I'm going to the secondary data source. So here I have the only one sheet is there, that means I can consider it as a one table is there. I have to pull this data to the our Tableau data source. Mm, okay, so it is joining automatically, and let's see what is the condition it is taking. Created it. Okay, and I have the other options also, date ID, and here also I have to add the date ID sheet 1. Okay, and I want to add some more columns. um, yeah, I pull the retailer table also, right? Let's take the retailer ID. Retailer ID. Okay, and here also I have to select the retailer ID. Retailer ID sheet 1. Okay, and the date table is joined, and sales table also we need to join. Sales in sales. From the sales invoice date ID, and here also I have to select the sales invoice date ID. And remember, whenever we do the blending the multiple data sources, the columns should be the same. Then only we can do the joins between the multiple databases, or else we can't join the tables from the multiple databases, because there is no point of joining the databases. Whenever we are trying to do the joining multiple databases, there should be the common fields between the primary data source and the secondary data source. Then only we can able to retrieve the data from the multiple data sources. Okay, so here I am trying to join the two data sources. So those are the SQL Server and Excel, and I have the common date fields also, means the common IDs also there. So based on that, I am trying to joining. Okay, now I joined the Excel data source and my Microsoft SQL data sources. Okay, here uh, my data blending is completed. Okay, so that means we are joining the tables from the multiple data sources is called the data blending. And up to here in the single data source, we are joining the tables. That means it's nothing but the joining only. We are joining tables within the data source is called the joining. We are joining tables from the different data sources or more than one data source or multiple data sources is called the blending. This is the way of implementing the data blending in the Tableau. This one is the blue color. See, automatically after I pull the sheet 1 to data source, here also we can able to see with the different colors. Primary data source tables are showing the blue color and secondary data source is showing the orange color. That means it is a differentiating the data sources. Okay, this is the data blending concept in the Tableau. And now here in the data set, I'm closing this one. In the data set, now I will get the data from two data sources into the single data set. What is the sheet 1 data also should be come here. See here in the sheet 1, sheet 1, sheet 1. So that means two data sources data is pulling into the single data set. So dim retailer, this is from the primary data source. Okay, so like this, I am able to get data from the two data sources into the single data set. Okay, and here we have the one more option also there. Whenever we don't have the joins between the tables, that time we can choose the cross join also, cross database join using Tableau. See here we have the option, edit option. Use a Tableau only default. Whenever we don't give the any specific table, Tableau automatically will take when that scenario we have to provide. That means if we provide data tables from the multiple data sources, if we don't join, then Tableau automatically will do the cross join using the default join. Okay, that will take by the Tableau automatically. And see cross database joining improve performance. Choose where the join process happens when joining data from the multiple sources. That means multiple databases. Whenever we use that one, cross database join will be pop up automatically by the Tableau. And this is the latest feature. It's not available in the earlier. If we want to do cross join earlier, we have to mention the cross join through the custom SQL only. Earlier we don't have the cross join option. Only for the 2021 onwards only we can able to be the cross database join. Okay, remember this is also one of the new feature for the Tableau. And I hope I have completed data Tableau data source options, and I explained the data filters also. Here filters we use it to call the data source filters, connection types, live and extract, and we have the option refresh also. And yeah, cross join, it will be pop up by the Tableau automatically whenever we use the multiple data sources. That time only cross database join will pop up, and that will take as a default join. Means whenever we don't have the common date fields to join, then that time cross join we can use it. That is the way of the using cross join in the Tableau. So this all covered under the Tableau data source. I hope you all of you understood about the joining and blending. If you understand those two things, then we go to the sheet one. Auto sources means blue and orange. If we are known which colors will be on blending. Okay, let me take one more file. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, mm, mm. Is there any text to find? Text to find. To- Okay, let's see what is there. This is also XLS file. Okay, let me take this. It will come to the different colors, Manadipti, and see now a green color is coming. If I pull again another data source, it will assign the different color like yellow or red or like that. So based on the data sources, it will take the automatically green, yellow, red colors. Okay, it's just because to identify the database differentiation. Okay, see now, see after pulling the third database, here I can here automatically Tableau assign the green color. That colors assigned by the Tableau itself default. And yeah, something I asked, yeah, you understood, right? What is the difference between the joining and blending? This answer for the only database level. Here, here in the Tableau, the difference between the joining and Tableau is, joining and blending is, joining is the we join the tables or multiple tables within the same data source. Within the same data source. That means single data source is nothing but the joining. We can call it in the Tableau. Coming to the blending, we are joining tables from the different data sources. That's what we did now. Okay, let me remove this. So that's what we did as of now. Data blending. This is the sheet one is the other data source. This dim date and fact sales invoice table and dim retailer. This is from the one data source. That means the above layer and below one both are from the different data sources. So whenever we try to pull data into the single data set from the multiple data, I mean more than one data source, you can remember like the more than one data source, that is called the blending. This is what the blending we are doing in the Tableau. If I don't take the secondary data source, now I have the only one data source only here in the Tableau data source tab. Okay, now this is nothing but the joining. That means I am joining multiple tables within the single data source or same data source only. All these tables available from the same data source only. This is considering as the joining. If I join from the other data source, this comes into the picture blending. Now I did the blending, data blending. Okay, this is the identification of the data blending symbol is blue color and orange color. Whenever we see the Tableau, oh here there are two data sources, so that is why we can able to see the two colors. If I pull the other data source and again third color will be enabled, that means easily we can understand here data blending concept is implementing in the Tableau. How the data looks originally after blending. I show you now already. See here, uh, above layer joining, and after joining with other data source, it comes under the data blending. Now in our data set, here below data set is there. Okay, this dim date data means that is a primary data source, and again sales invoice, this is also primary data source. And next I will get the retailer data, this is also from the primary data source. And next I have to get the sheet 1 data source, sheet 1 data. See now sheet 1 data, that means in the single data set only I am pulling data from the two different sources. What as usually how data is available in the data source, same thing will populating in the same data set only, but we need a common fields to join the two databases. That's it only. Otherwise we can't join the multiple data sources also. However, we are joining the joining the tables within the same data source, like that we have to do joins between the multiple data sources using the common fields. After doing the blending, all the data integrating into the one data set. See here sheet 1 data is there because only sheet 1 is available in the secondary data source. If I have the sheet 2 also, I have to pull that sheet 2 again to here, and again I will get the sheet 2 data in this data set again. After the sheet 1 data I will get the sheet 2 data next. Are you able to see all data, primary data source data and secondary data source data into the single set? This is the secondary data sources, sheet 1, sheet 1, sheet 1, secondary data source, all this one. So that means we are good with doing the data blending. That is the main purpose of the integrating data from the more than one data source into the single data set. Now, okay, now Santosh, are you able to understand now? And Swati, Manidipti, please let us know any doubts, or if you are not understand, then again I will pull the data from the source. Is there a key to join the data set? Okay, and okay. So as of now, we did using the tables joins only, and in the primary data source we directly use the tables, and the secondary data source we have the one other table sheet 1. Now we are good for the data blending concept, integrating data from the different sources into the single data set. That is nothing but the data blending. Okay, now I want to show example for the using custom SQL option. Okay, now I go to the primary data source because my primary data source only having the database. Secondary data source is the file related format data. It's not the original database. Okay, only I have the SQL server database. I'm connecting through the original first primary data source using the custom SQL. So now I will remove everything here. Okay, now I am using the custom SQL. I have to drag the custom SQL. So here I need to enter the SQL query. Whenever we use the custom SQL option, we have to use the SQL query only. Then what is that SQL query we have to take? Whatever the data source it is supporting now, from that data source only we need to take the SQL query. in this data, so in this primary data source only we have the tables. So we have to take the list of the tables. Select a star from date table is there, retailer table is there, sales invoice is there, product is there, location is there. So like that we have the multiple tables available, but I will take only limited tables only now. Okay, where is my database? Yeah, already I have the query here. I will take this entire one. Mm, okay. Sure. Okay, condition. Okay. So in the SQL, how we are retrieving data from the multiple tables using the joins only, right? So this is the dim table is from for the one data table, and fact sales invoice details is the one data table, and dim retailer table is the one data table. So here I have to provide the common fields for the joining. What I am doing for joining dim date table and sales invoice. Here I am using the join condition on date ID, means date. I have given the alias table for the date table, DT like that. Okay, DT alias table dot, from that table I am taking the date ID field, and the next sales invoice table I used the alias name is SI. So from the table SI dot sales invoice date ID. That means this is the path I am giving to these two tables. I am providing the path to these two tables. Based on these two fields, get the data. Like that, I am providing the instructions to the SQL Server database. And again I am trying to add the one more data table, and again we have to use the join. This direct joins means inner join only. Join and retailer table, I am providing the alias is the re for the retailer. On means after on preposition we have to use the join condition only. Okay, RE is the retailer. From the retailer table, I am using the retailer ID, and I am joining with what fact table only. So fact table is a fact table alias is the SI dot retailer ID. Okay, now I am good for the joining these three tables. One is the date table, and second one is the fact sales table, and third one is the retailer table. From these three tables only, I will get I have to get data into our Tableau data source. Okay, using the custom SQL. That means this is also one of the data source that is called as here Microsoft SQL Server. Okay, I am clicking OK. Created it was specified multiple times. Okay, why I am getting this error? In the date table again I have the date ID, and the sales invoice table also I have the date ID, and the retailer table also I have the date ID. But here I am using the directly star from. Here I didn't use the any alias table with the field name. That is the reason I am getting the multiple times define the date ID like that. So to avoid that reason, what I have to do, I have to select the limited fields only. I go to the SQL, because I have chosen the SQL option, custom SQL option, and here what is the date alias is there. Using the date alias, I have to pull the date. From the date table I have to take date, and again from date I have to get the created date, comma, and the date. This is the way of writing the SQL select query created way. So enough for the showing this example. I am taking only limited columns only. Next I go to the sales invoice table. That sales invoice table alias is the SI. Here I define SI. From the sales table, what else I have to get it? Oh, phone number, row type, no, amount, head, actual price. Okay, next, SI dot amount header, comma, alias table, sales fact table only. I'm taking some more columns. Create invoice date ID is already there. We use it in the condition and box quantity. Yeah, I am thinking that's enough from the sales table. And the next one is the retailer table. Retailer table defined with alias is the RE. RE dot from the retailer table. I want retailer name, retailer code. Okay, comma, alias RE and retailer ID invoice amount retailer name. Yeah, retailer name. So I want these are the details enough to get to fetch the data from these three tables. Okay, now I am taking this query and going to the Tableau. Here in the custom SQL, I am pasting it. Data. Before taking the custom SQL, whatever query we prepared, that is whether right or not, whether it is fetching data or not, we need to check in the database, right? So we have to do the execution. See, now I am able to get the data. Okay, this is the, then we can go to the custom SQL. Here I can utilize that query using the select query. Now we don't get that type of error. Earlier we faced error, right? Date ID defined multiple times because that field available in the all the three tables. So we didn't give any particular table name dot date ID. That is the reason the database get ambiguous condition and it throws the error to us. So for to avoid that error, we have selected the only limited fields only, and we are doing joining here. This is the only single data source. So up to here, the concept is joining. Up to here, only joining the tables. As of now, we joined three tables. So as a definition, what we call, we join the multiple tables within the single data source is called the joining. We join the multiple tables within the same data source is called the joining. Okay, and next I try to pull the other data from the other data source. The second data source is the Excel data source. From there I have added the one data set. That data sheet is having the some data. If I pull that sheet to the here, it will take the join condition automatically. So here it is not identified the join condition because uh, anyone understand why it is throwing error? Data from the two is appended
No,
to
no
table
common
one.
fields.
Sorry.
No, there is no common field the system
Yes.
identify.
Yes, yes. Because in the custom SQL, we have limited the fields. We didn't take all the fields like earlier. And there is no, whatever columns we have selected now, those columns are not available in the sheet one like that. It seems to be joint condition. That is the reason it is throwing the error. So to avoid this error, what we have to do, we have to maintain the relation between these two data sources. For that, what we have to do, we have to add the common fields. Okay, what are the common fields here? Joining, we can take um, any two key fields. Production batch ID, production ID is there. We take only one column, production ID is there, and from here also we take the production ID, comma, production ID where it is available. I think in the sales fact table it is the available. Where is the sales invoice table? Yes. Here retailer ID is product ID. Yeah, here we have the product ID. So I take the from the sales table SI dot product ID. Okay. Now I will like see out again. Now I have to get that production ID into the columns. Where is my scroll bar? Okay, see here in the last I have the production ID. And yeah, I need to take that query, right? And go to the Tableau, and in the SQL query option, I am pasting it again. Control A and Control V. Now I added the production ID. This production ID should be available in the sheet 1 also. Then only we can make it a relation. Okay. Uh, Click on that. Here below, see, it is I think something is happening here, whether you identified or not. Earlier, we have seen the left join, right join, right? That is the joins option, and here we are having the relation. This is the relation option. That means inside in the Tableau source only we have the two layers are there. In first outer side we have the only Tableau, this one relation field is there. If you close this one here, here we will get the one close option. If we close this one, then after that again one more window is enabling. There we get the inner join, after join, like that. So that is also available in the latest version, seems to be. Okay, then we go to that one next, and we do the joining here, production ID, and sheet 1 also production ID. Search here. Yes, product ID is there. This is the way of the giving the relation based on the conditions. And you see here in the custom SQL it is showing the number, but in the sheet it is showing the string character. That means varchar. So both the data types are different. When we want to join two columns from the tables, that format also, that data type also should be the same. But here see data type is different. Now what we have to do? We have to change the data type also. How we have to change in the Tableau? Here we have the option edit calculation is there. Edit calculation. Now I am converting to the string str. So now I converted to the string. Click on apply. Now see that error gone now, because now this ABC is referring as the string format. Now I converted that number to the string format using the string function. Okay, now the data is able to joining between the two tables. Okay, this is the supporting now. Now see here, this is the one data source, and this is the another data source. We are I think we are good for the implementing the data blending using the SQL query as well. And from the, if sometimes we have the other data source like Oracle also there. Actually I was implemented in my projects last time, means long back. There I implemented using the SQL server and Oracle data source was there. There is a business, we have the orders related like transformer related business. Okay, for that each transformer I used to get the orders. In the SQL server also I have the orders, and in the Oracle also I have the orders. So based on the orders I did the join between the SQL server and Oracle. And for the Oracle data source also we can use the custom SQL option. If you connect it to the Oracle data source, and again for this one also you will able to view the custom SQL option. So using that option again you can use the custom SQL query, and based on those two queries you can join. Here we are using the custom, sorry, Microsoft Excel, right? That is the reason custom SQL option is not available. But for the SQL server is the database. That is the reason we can able to view the custom SQL. So this is the way of the blending the data sources. Now we have the two data sources data into the single data set. Say custom SQL. Custom SQL is the primary data source, and sheet one. Uh, I think it is integrated. Product ID. So Okay, so to display data at the same time, it is selecting the option here. So based on that, it is showing data. But in our data set, for example, if I go to the sheet one, here I will get the data from the two data sources. Okay, let me pull one report day name, and here mm, okay, invoice amount. See here. Uh, Okay, it seems to be whatever product ID we joined, that product ID is not matching with the whatever the columns we have pulled. So we need to take some other join. So that is the reason it is not integrated into the single report, single data set. So we have to go back and need to edit the query. Here we have to take the matching fields. Date is the date ID. Better we take a date ID. Okay, and from the sales also we have the date ID, sales invoice date ID. Okay, and from the retailer also we have the date ID. I think so. Retailer table alias is the only date. No, here I don't have date ID. Take the modified date column. Okay, and next, yeah, this is enough. Let's see, we it will connect or not. Tableau and paste it here. And date id is the click OK, and if you want to change any condition, just click on this relation. Okay, and here we will able to see the um, conditions between these two tables, these two data sources. And here I will choose the date id, date only, and here also um, date is there. Okay, okay. Still, it is showing the type mismatch because here seen that symbol, calendar with the clock is showing. That means date time is there. This data type is the date timer, and here date is showing the calendar symbol. That means this data type is the only data, not having the time. That is the reason it is mismatching. To match that one, we have to convert any of the field to the same data type. So here I am doing date of date. Now we will get the only date value. We don't get the time value. Now this data is matching, and dun, 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 dun. Yes, see now. Now based on the date common field, now from the different data sources, it is integrating into the same field. I think from the yeah, from the sheet one only I pull the day name, and from the custom SQL query I pull the sales invoice amount. That means these two data sources now blending the data into the single data set. That is the main purpose of the data blending. Okay. Now we have seen through the data tables from the different data sources, and we have seen through the SQL query also from the data source. If we have the secondary data source also having the Oracle or PostgreSQL, whatever database we have, from that one also we can use it as a SQL query, same as now how we implemented sheet 1, same as we can implement through the database. This is the way of the blending the data into the single data set. You understood? Divya, Swati, Santosh, Manidipti. This is okay. Okay. And what about Swati? Are you understanding? And this Friday, definitely I will take the one quiz based on what we discussed this week. So that is the reason. If you don't understand, please let me know. We can discuss one more time tomorrow. Well, practicing only I will get to know. Yeah, that's true, Swati. We have to do practice. And I suggest whenever we attend the class, that day itself only if you practice, and that is easily we can remember. If you delay, we may forget the topics what we discussed earlier. So that time we have to go through the videos again. And while listening the videos, we will distract. Someone will disturb us. Okay, okay, okay. And okay. But the topics you understood, right? Today, really, we discussed very important concepts, joining and data blending in the Tableau. I hope we have covered the Tableau data source as of today. And tomorrow onwards, we try to pull data from the data sources, whatever we have done as of now. Okay, and Friday only quiz and quiz explanation will be there. I hope a festival is coming. Let me know how many of going for the vacation.